Hello, Admiral Thrawn here. I am recording a little preview video for the Wildlings that I've been working on for Age of Petty Kings 2.0. I'm just going to show you a few of the units. This is not going to be the entire Wildling roster, but it's something that I've been putting together. As you can see, it's all still very much a work in progress. Most of the unit cards aren't done. The ones that are done are going to be changed. But yeah, I just want to show you what I've been working on. First off, we got the generic Wildling Spearmen here. These guys aren't all that great, as you can see. They just basically have little crummy shields, crummy spears. You can see the spears are made of stone. They're just basically, yeah, they're pretty bad, but they have units of 200 men each. So basically, they can swarm the enemy and just like smash them that way. By the way, just fun fact, if any of you are wondering, this music is called The Demise of Barbara and the Return of Joe. It's probably the least thematic music that I put into Age of Petty Kings 2.0, but I really love this music, so I figured, what the hell. Anyways, we also have the generic Wildling Archers. They're pretty crummy, but yeah, whatever. On to the more interesting units, we have, these guys here are Hornfoot men. They basically don't wear shoes, and so, as you can see, their feet are just basically totally frostbitten. They are the best Wildling counter-cavalry units. They don't have the ability to form a phalanx, but they do have really long spears that are good against cavalry, and so when they don't take a charge well, they can basically come in as quick reinforcements. So if cavalry, say, attacks one of your spearman units, these guys can rush in to save the day and fight off the cavalry. So yeah, they're basically a very specialized single-purpose unit. But then again, that's basically what I went for with most of the Wildling roster, for like basically specialized units that are exotic, but not all that great in a sustainable fight. The exception to that are these Thens here. The Thens, as you can see, they have bronze spears, they have shields with bronze studs, and also they have sewn bronze discs into their clothing to basically be rudimentary armor. Plus, these guys can form a spear wall. So these are basically going to be the fighting core of your army in terms of like your main infantry line. Definitely make sure you can bring some Thens. Of course, they can only be recruited in Then, which is like really far away and way up in the north. But if you can actually get them to come down with you, then you're in really good shape. Anyways, on to the cavalry. These guys here are some Wildling Lancers. They're better than they're basically okay cavalry, they're fine. And of course, on to the big one. The music has gotten awesome for this part. The Mammoths. Yes, I managed to get Mammoths to work. They aren't amazing looking, but I like them. They're based on the medieval Total War elephants. These guys here don't have any archers in the back. Instead, they just have some like generic spearmen up here. It has to do with the animations, but they can basically just run over and crush any infantry that is out there. So I'm going to do a test battle here to determine how this army fares against a Stormland army, to see what changes I should make, what units I should add, just sort of like, you know, just yeah, see how things are progressing so far. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Move these guys here into my main infantry line. I'm gonna put some Thens up here in reserve. I'm gonna not put them into spear wall formation. I wanna have them be in good shape like that. Put some Hornfoot men in reserve on the flanks. Let's get my archers into loose formation. I should change the archer formation to be more in line with the Wildling Spearmen and all the other crummy units. These guys here have a good tight formation, but the other Wildling units should basically have really crummy loose formations. Let's put my general into spear wall. Let's focus my cavalry into two wings here. And then up here. And let's put the Mammoths in reserve. These are going to be the main... Or let's put all of my striking power up on this flank here. That way, I can basically just swing around the enemy and just crush them. That way. So, I got my my multi-level infantry thing here. Archers, crummy spearmen, better spearmen and counter cavalry spearmen, and then of course general back here in a super turtle formation. Stormlords have a generic roster. I'm not going to make any 3.0 changes to most of the southern rosters with the exception of the Dornish. And then they do group 2. Let's move you guys in a bit. Make you guys their group 1. As you can see, here's the wall. And up there is the far north. I've added a couple of new battle maps north of the wall as well. Those should be pretty fun. One that I'm particularly happy with is the Fist of the First Men. What I did was I was able to get onto the side of this hill, and so basically it's one of those things where you got like this sort of funnel where the defender is going to be sort of up in this, like, well, I guess funnel on the cliffside where they can concentrate their force and the attacker has to go up the hill to get at them. That should be a pretty fun battle to fight. Stormlight Woods, of course, have some knights. Here's Stannis' army. They're moving in a bit, looks like. My forces are almost in position. Let's swing you guys around the flank here. Just get ready to take that charge. So they're charging in. And yeah, their knights are just coming right over my guys. Okay, so they're pouring their knights in here. We're gonna have to deal with these guys before they flank me. Let's send our horsemen up to there to help them out. Our cavalry isn't going to stand a chance against those knights, but our mammoths could. I think with the help of our horsemen, we might be able to pull it off. Let's send some of our things up to him to help. So yeah, we're riding some of their knights with our mammoths. I think we've broken their flank here. This is very good. You guys go chase them. Guys, shoot at them. Let's get back into the fight. So yeah, these guys are holding their own-ish. But that being said, if they took a direct charge, they'd probably break. Let's deploy our Fang reserves here. You can see our mammoths are just like crushing through their lines here. The mammoths may be a little bit overpowered. I might have to nerf them a little bit, but I'd say they're close to as powerful as I want them. I definitely want them to be basically a big smashing unit that can crush through the enemy forces and just like wreak havoc. We lost one already, but yeah. I have to deploy my general here against those pikemen. So yeah, those knights are really doing a lot of damage to my forces. I'm gonna try and break off some elephants and send them down that little deal. take off some cavalry to go chase these guys down. I have managed to turn their flank here, so it's going pretty well. One thing I'm trying to balance is basically balancing the Wildlings for the campaign map, because they won't be able to... One thing I've decided already is that basically if they conquer Greenland provinces, they won't be able to recruit Greenland units. Like, so the Wildlings will never be able to recruit, like, knights from Westeros. I might allow them to recruit mercenaries from Westeros, but not knights. It's because they know that that's just not how a Wildling society works. And so, it does leave the question, though, of how they're going to supply their armies once they've actually broken through the wall, because presumably players won't stop playing as soon as the wall has been breached. So, what I was thinking for that, these guys... I'm going to send them into fight, I think. Basically what I was thinking was that once the wall was breached, the Wildlings should be able to recruit, like, some really crummy sort of peasant spear levy kind of units. But, in terms of... like, the way that they'd be balanced, though, they would basically have access to extra and tons of units north of the wall, and then as they move further and further south, their supply lines would get longer and longer as their enemies got stronger and stronger. Because really the biggest problem with Mance's plan of going south of the wall was that eventually, when he got far enough south, his army would basically run out of steam, and he'd run into another army that was bigger than his, and he'd eventually lose. I mean, even John in Book 3 basically admits that Mance is never actually going to win the war in the south, but at the same time, basically he could do a lot of damage and kill a lot of people. So in terms of how to represent that, I'm still sort of working on that. It'll be a little while till 3.0 is released. People have asked about a Christmas release date. I'd really want to do that just because it seems appropriate for North of the Wall. I can't promise anything like that though, because, I don't know, 2.0 took way longer than I expected, and 3.0 could as well, and even if it doesn't, I'm not sure I can do Christmas, but I'll try, so we'll see. Maybe Christmas. If not, pretty soon though. It's not going to be nearly as big as 2.0 in terms of the amount of time I need to spend on it, because it's just basically making 2 new rosters as opposed to, like, something close to 20, or not even that, like more like 30 or 40 new rosters, including like all the little mercenary rosters and units and stuff. So yeah, that's just a little preview of what I've been doing, what I've been working on. I'm probably gonna maybe post a Night's Watch video at some point, but yeah, things are coming along. Yeah, Admiral Thrawn signing off.